Wise lines. If you increase your inside temperature with hatredness and arrogance, you will feel hot even in the air-conditioned room. But if you create AC inside your mind by taking chill pills of calmness, kindness and satisfaction, then you'll feel perfectly fine even in the deadly hot temperature without any air condition. Pranam friends, our today's story is about the power of patience which most of us lack. Innervoicepaathshala is presenting this story for two reasons. Firstly, for those who cannot take neglection and criticism in a positive way to grow. And secondly, for those who feel miserable and go into depression after hearing negative remarks. So, do you want to learn the art of how to be super cool in super hot deadly situations? Then well, why waste time? Let's begin. Nagdat was the son of King Kumbh. Once, Nagdat was sitting in the balcony of his palace, and on seeing some monks on the way, he attained Jati Smaran Gnan, which means knowledge of past birth. He remembered his monkhood of past life and his snake birth. Just then, he goes to greet the Mahatmas, and on hearing Mahatmas' preachings, he gained detachment towards the temporary pleasures and decided to take Diksha to achieve the permanent bliss. Accordingly, he renounced worldly pleasures and became the monk at a very young age, and he was named Kulguru. Kulguru studied and correctly comprehended the essence of Jainism. He realized the role of karmas in the life of every being and thereby learned to maintain a high level of equanimity. He rigorously observed the code of conduct for monks. However, as he came from Tijanjgati, that is, the animal kingdom, he could not overcome one problem, that it was difficult for him to stay hungry even for 3 hours. And so, he could not really fast. Every day, he got one small pot full of rice as alms. Gur means rice and Gadu means a type of vessel. Due to hunger, he had a Gadu full of rice, and that's why he came to be known as Kurgadu Muni. Even during the Paryushan Parva, he could not fast for a single day, whereas the other monks fasted for 3 to 4 months. As he ate his food on the days of Parva, he felt miserable and regretted that he was not able to fast. He attributed his inability to fast to his previous karmas. When all the other monks observed their fast, he praised them and rendered every type of service to them. He wished in his heart that someday he could also observe such fasts. It was during one monsoon season that an event occurred that changed the situation. Jain monks forego travelling and remain in one place for the duration of the monsoons. Acharya Surishwarji, along with many of his disciples, including Muni Kurgadu, was in Sripur. Many of the monks undertook long fasts, and some were extending more than a month. He always appreciated them. Kurgadu Muni really felt sad as he could not observe such austerities, especially on the day of Samvatsari. He wished that at least he could observe a day-long fast. He began the day in an earnest effort to avoid eating food for one day. However, before the noon, he felt very hungry and could not do without food. He was surprised at the kind of karmas he had acquired, that he could not even fast for a single day. He reluctantly approached the Guru and asked his permission to go for alms. The Guru lovingly tried to persuade him to go without food at least for one day, especially when all the other monks were doing it for such a long period. Kurgadu Muni humbly replied that he did wish to observe a fast, but he couldn't stand his hunger. The Guru pitied his miserable fate and compassionately allowed him to go for alms. Now, Kurgadu Muni went for alms and accepted the food that was offered to him. Returning, he presented the alms to his Guru as part of the monk's code of conduct and took his permission to eat. Guru gave him his permission. He did all this in modesty. Now, Kurgadu Muni had great respect for the monks who were fasting, and as he couldn't observe fast to seek their blessings, he went to them and showed the alm. But unfortunately, they made negative remarks. He showed the alm to the first monk in respect, but in return, the monk spat into the pot. Still, without any negative thoughts, he goes to the second monk with great gratitude. But he also spits into the pot which contained rice. Similarly, all the 4 monks spat into the meal and made him feel miserable. Kurgadu Muni, in appreciation for all the monks, in his heart, went to the corner, mixed his saliva with his food and considered the act as blessings and started eating it. He felt really sorry as he was eating on an auspicious day of Samvatsari and was acquiring a wholesome karmas. The monks who were fasting for a month unsympathetically said that he did not deserve to be a monk. Kurgadu Muni listened to the remarks quietly. While eating, he dwelt deeply to fast even for a single day instead of any hard feelings for the monks. He could see that it must be the results of his previous karmas. He understood that if I don't react and bear the karmas calmly, this karma would be shed too. So he made up his mind to passively accept what has been destined by his karmas. He sincerely started to repent. Now, his willingness to accept his limitation gave rise to the true nature of the soul. His realization was strong enough to destroy all the defiling karmas on the spot, and he immediately gained Keval Gnan while he was eating. When one attains Keval Gnan, angels arrive to offer their respect. When other monks saw the angels coming towards them, they felt that the angels were coming to praise them for their severe austerities. Instead, they turned towards Kurgadu Muni and offered their respect to him. They were amazed to know that Kurgadu Muni had got Keval Gnan. None of them could understand why. The monks who were observing severe austerities were left out, while the one who did not observe it at all had gained full enlightenment. All the monks realized that they were indulging in unnecessary pride, which obstructed their right perception. So their regression by heart for their conduct towards Kurgadu Muni shed all the karmas, and all the 4 monks also got Keval Gnan. So friends, one must never be proud about their austerities that one is able to perform. And we must never consider anyone weak, because everyone has different potentials. Rather than putting these people down, one must encourage them to do so with compassion and realize that it's due to their previous karmas. Always know this universal fact, guys. Your rightness and talents that God has given you, use them to encourage rather than discouraging people by showing your age. Else, it'll be a wastage and someone better than you will come and turn your page. So with great positivity and with power of kindness, Innervoicepaathshala always tells you to aspire yourself correctly and inspire the world.